No?
Ready to move forward.
Mr. Clerk,
We have a motion made by
were you
Councilwoman.
sleeping?
He probably was.
He's waiting for the interesting items to come up.
Trying my best to hold my tongue.
Wherever you're going after this, they still open till 4 o'clock.
Oh my God.
All right, so all right, I have a motion. We have a motion made by Councilwoman Case. That motion was to appoint Mr. Story as our new city manager. That motion was then seconded by Councilman Galvin. Roll call vote. Councilwoman Keys,
Yes.
Councilman Bieneme,
No.
Vice Mayor Desume,
No.
Councilman Galvin,
Yes.
and Mayor Joseph.
No.
Item fails 2-3.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to nominate Larry Spring as the new city manager for the city of North Miami.
I have a motion made by Councilman Galvin to appoint Mr. Springs as the new city manager for the city of North Miami. Do I have a second? Motion failed.
Mr. Mayor, and I second that motion for discussion.
That motion was seconded by Councilman Bieneme.
For discussion.
Yeah.
Okay, now it's open to the public. Public hearing is open on the motion to nominate Mr. Larry Springs as our next city manager. Public hearing is open.
Laura Hill, 13075 Griffin Boulevard. Make it real short. I support Larry Spring in this position. Thank you.
John Porter, 340 Northeast 131st Street. I'll keep it short as well. I agree with this. I think it's a good choice, and I think he's going to do a great job.
Public hearing is still open. I see no one coming on to speak.
Charlie's coming.
Uh,
Charlie. Oh,
Hello, Carmela Furman, 12530 Northeast 4th Avenue. I did a little bit of research. I Googled this gentleman and reviewed his resume as well, and I think that would be a good choice for the city. Thank you.
Public hearing is still open. I see no one coming to the mic, so public hearing is now closed. Members of the council.
My reason in nominating Mr. Spring is that he also was in my top 3, and I think would bring a combination of traits, including background, experience, and understanding many of the players and issues surrounding North Miami. I was very impressed with him in his interview. He brought up some good things without prompt, and that to me is one reason I have great faith in him performing the duty. So that's the reason why I nominated Mr. Spring.
Anybody else?
All right, so I have a motion made by Councilman Galvin to appoint Mr. Springs as,
Well, before you, let me say this. I think I must do this. I think it's only fair because you did ask Mr. Sori, who's been our budget director and our interim manager. Is Mr. Spring in the audience?
Yeah, he's in the back.
Yeah, Mr. Spring, if you please would accept to answer a key question that I have. It's kind of a cloud that's been hanging over my decision to consider you. Maybe if you can clarify it for me or for the audience, that would shed some light. It's about your experience in the city of Miami. I believe that you were a director of finance or assistant director.
no, I was assistant city manager and CFO.
Yeah, and there was some incident about where the city of Miami was under review, and that you would be implicated doing some type of audit and about the city, like covering one fund with other funds, and they had to actually spend city dollars to pay for lawyers to fight the case. Can you clarify that?
I will describe the situation absolutely, Mr. Mayor. The city of Miami found itself under an SEC investigation regarding about 3 different bond transactions and the ultimate disclosures that were included to support those transactions. The city went through, and myself and about 20 or 25 employees went through a testimonial process with the SEC. They reviewed all emails, documents, reports, and ultimately myself, all of my staff that reported to me were cleared by the SEC and found to have done no wrongdoing. The city was charged, and the individual budget director who proposed the budget transactions in question was also indicted by the SEC. So I guess my explanation is I went through a legal process that a number of people follow and came out clean. As an additional note, I think everybody read in the paper recently that the Marlins deal as well, which I also did, which was also reviewed by the SEC, was recently cleared as well. So it was a learning experience, and I think in my interviews I talked about being able to use that experience to advance the city if indeed they wanted to issue a bond to promote capital investment in the city.
Subtotally speaking, how much did the city spend in that case, like in lawyer fees and other
The case is
intangibles?
The case is ongoing, so I couldn't tell you the total amount. I know it's in excess of a few $1 million at this point.
Okay. That's all the questions. Thank you very much.
Okay.
I don't know if there is any question.
I'll just say, Mr. Spring was my second choice. He has a tremendous resume. He's got tremendous development experience and experience in the CRA. Our city is looking forward to moving forward and doing a lot of development. I think he has the ability to help us through that. So I think he's a
Mr.
good
Mayor.
applicant.
Mr. Mayor. Well, first and foremost, I think going back to Mr. Sori, there's no other person I think who would possibly not only would do this job as well and would get along with all of us in here, but making my personal decision. I did have conversation with Mr. Sori about my decision, as well as with Larry. I would like to see, Mr. Spring, we do have a finance department that's a little in disarray, and he has done a tremendous job since he gotten the position. So I would like, if this doesn't go his way, he does continue being our finance director, because I do think it's on the right path. Thank you. But I think both of them are. All of the nominees are very well qualified. Thank you.
Okay.
So I have a motion made by Councilman Galvin to approve or to appoint Mr. Springs as the new city manager. That motion was then seconded by Councilman Bieneme. Roll call vote. Mayor Joseph, how do you vote?
No?
Vice Mayor Desime, how do you vote?
No.
Councilman Galvin, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilwoman Keys, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilman Bieneme, how do you vote?
Yes.
Item was approved, 3-2. Now, before we go to, Mayor, before we go on to Citizens Forum, we do have a couple of board appointments. Mr. Councilman Bieneme appoints Evsky Joseph to the Quality Education Board and appoints at-large Evsky Joseph to the University Relations Board. Do I have a second to Councilman Bieneme's motion.
Second.
Councilman Desmay has seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Congratulations, Mr. Joseph. You've been appointed to those two boards. 5-0 vote.
Wait, which two board? You said education only, Mike.
On the
Mr. Clerk.
Education Board and the University Relations Board.
Okay.
Two boards we discussed.
Got it.
All right? Thank you.
And well, he works for, I guess, school board member over T. Holloway.
Yeah, he's currently a resident of the city of North Miami, and he works for school board member T. Holloway. So he's involved in education. He wants to be involved in education. And thanks to
Okay,
Councilman
go ahead.
Bienemay and Councilman Desmay, he's going to be active in our boards here in the city of North Miami.
I have no report tonight, Mr. Mayor.
I do.
Oh,
No,
citizens
citizens
forum,
forum.
sorry.
Citizen Forum.
Get home.
Citizen Forum is open. Citizen Forum is open. Citizen Forum is closed. You didn't get up.
Have mercy on us, Ben.
I got up. A few things. Again, Beverly Hilton, 12495 Northwest 6th Avenue. First thing is regarding the insurance water line. I'm not against it. I'm just against them using the logo. And believe me, the resident is going to think it's from the city. And I think that's a bad idea to use. Second thing is, congratulations. Now we have a new manager. We have a city manager. Third thing is code compliance. Please, we need code officers. Not that they're not doing a good job. They are, but they're overworked and they're not able to fulfill the residents' needs. Because of that, you're seeing a lot of, if you're just driving Northwest 2nd Avenue, you're seeing buses and trucks in homes. I'm just glad it's not next to me. So I think we need police. We need more code compliance officers. And also, don't forget our police officers, because of them, I can sleep nights. They're doing a wonderful job, but we need more officers, and we need more code compliance officers. Thank you again for hiring a new manager. And we need to wait on the city attorney. Thank you.
Thank you.
Evan Ross, 1941 South Oak Haven Circle. First, I want to congratulate the soon-to-be new city manager, Mr. Spring. I also wanted to take a moment to commend Mr. Sori. I've had the opportunity to work with him over his time as interim, and he's been a pleasure to work with, as is Mr. Spring. They're both tremendous assets to this city, and you're lucky to have both of them. I also wanted to take a moment to congratulate the city and specifically Councilman DeSolme on what was a fantastic Black History Month event this past weekend. The musical lineup was something special, and it was really a tremendous event other than about 5 minutes of rain. So just wanted to take a moment to commend you on that.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Howard Tonkin, 12600 Griffin Boulevard, also a small business owner in North Miami. Trying not to take it personally that my signs have to come down when we've got the Panda Yucca sign at 7-Eleven that's sitting in the swell, and all the other signs that are all over the city. I just wanted to say to the people complaining about my business, they can now go to www.thinkbeyondthehedge.com and learn more about the work that I do. Change is a great thing in life, and not taking things personally is a great thing in life. I went around the city to start taking photographs of other landscape swells and got overwhelmed by where our swells are at. 2 blocks from here, there's broken glass and abandoned mattresses and all kinds of garbage and weeds and all sorts of stuff, and it just got to thinking, we've got such bigger problems in this city than butterflies and wildflowers on swells. And I just wanted to say something, optimistic, because it can't be all so negative all the time. But I went to St. Petersburg, Florida this week. Yeah, you didn't do the 2 minutes thing. I went to St. Petersburg, Florida this week, and it's such a cool city with really good tourism happening in that city. The Dali Museum is packed. The Chihuly Museum is packed. They've got bioswales and kunti and ecotourism all over the place. And you go to the parks in St. Petersburg, and they've got all these different kinds of animals, armadillos and raccoons, and all these endangered birds in the parks, and it's packed full of tourists. And this is where North Miami could go, instead of me getting up here and saying, oh, well, my signs and the swells and everybody complaining about stuff. We can go in a really positive direction, like the Chinatown thing, and move in a good way and move away from the negativity and in this sort of petty way that the NOMI app is being used to sort of facilitate people's vindictive agendas. It's not really what it's for. We should be all focused on what we can do to make North Miami better. Thank you.
Jacques Despinos, 95 Northeast 131. Well, this is the end. The city has been in such limbo for city manager for quite a while. Finally coming to an end. And I know everybody have their own preference, but somebody have to win and somebody have to lose. And I hope Mr. Soy will go back and regain his job, because he has been with the city for many, many, many years. Okay? During all the headache, he was brave, strong enough to jump to keep the city moving. Whatever happened tonight, you get the job or not, but that democracy in action. Somebody have to win, some have to lose. Secondly, talking about the CRA, the discussion was earlier, the concern of Councilwoman Keys was well taken. I believe we all of you elected under oath to protect and defend the city. There's only one city. And I hope when the time to come to look over at Solemia and look in what's going on in the Northwest, that's the west part of the comprehension plans, I think is very, very good that history in the making, and your guys sitting up there, you can say to your children and grandchildren and make it happen. Councilman Desume, welcome.
Thank you.
And I don't have that much to say, but now there's two shoes, one for the city manager. The second shoes now is for the city attorney. Let's move on, please. And I'm here also as a former colleague and member of the community, and I have a program since 1985 dealing with citizenship and voter registration. We put a program together on the 12th of March at North Miami High, and I will appreciate a little financial support to get the program going on. So far, nothing come on. So I spoke with many of you, and you heard it in the radio, and we're working very hard. And I don't know where we're going from here, Scott, the mayor, Councilman Desulme, Councilman Bien-Aimé, Councilman Keys. This is for the senior of North Miami.
Can I say something? Mr. Mayor, I don't know if it's possible to say something.
Go ahead.
And we all know in the Haitian community that Radio Citizen and the program, it's educated people. And you know we're going to have an election this year. And not only you're going to favor a party, but you're going to educate the community and when all the policies that, actually, and in order for people to make the right judgment when it comes to vote. And I don't know, Mr. Mayor, if we're going to make the motion right now, but the motion that I will make is for the city manager and the city attorney to allocated $5,000 to this program. I don't know where you're going to find the money, and that's the motion that I make. And I hope that next week you sit down with the city manager and bring all the paperwork in order to make that happen, because you are a non-profit organization.
Yes.
It's not a radio to make money.
The coalition, no, the radio is a program
And
of the coalition. The
Okay.
coalition is a 501c3.
Okay, since we don't have all the fact, maybe we will put it on the agenda for the next council. Will it be okay?
Well, the function is on the 12. You know, the school board doesn't give us anything yet, but even have a call, all the publicity has been done, but no money coming yet. So
Is this a
if
request
if it's for the paper, you can get the paper tonight because everything is up. You just pull a draw, get them out.
Oh.
So it's not a problem.
Go ahead. I was gonna suggest that, I didn't expect this request. Is it possible you could meet with the city manager and their staff and work out the stuff and let them come to us with something? Because I think people are ready to go home now.
With all due respect, Councilman, and I love you to death, I held every nonprofit organization to the same standard that's come before us in the past. Even PAL earlier tonight, I asked if PAL had turned in their paperwork. We have a resolution that says these different things have to be turned in before we can give out money. I want to be supportive, but if we don't do it for you and we do it for every other group, everybody's going to say, see, they just do it for him because he's a councilman. So
Okay, Mr. City Manager will support a resolution coming before us to move forward.
On March 8th.
Allocated $5,000 to the organization.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Remember, that's all will be a first time. See no existence or existence, that's the first time.
All right.
All right, always.
Ms. Hill?
1985.
Hi, I'm up again. I'm Laura Hill, 13075 Griffin Boulevard. I want to speak on the issue of the water bill and utilities. I'm really concerned about the situation. When I talk to a lot of the residents in my neighborhood, people are not getting their bills. What they're getting is a shut-off notice, and then they run really fast to City Hall and pay it before they shut it off. Or they don't get a shut-off notice. They don't get anything at all. Months and months go by, more than 3, 7, 8 months are going by with no water bill. When it's shut-off day on Griffin Boulevard, half the neighborhood gets the notice. That's indicative of a major problem. I went down to the water, to utilities with my father-in-law, who has rented a house in the neighborhood for 7 months. 7 months, not one single water bill. He's going to get the mother of all water bills. That's what happens. When I went down to the city, they said they were running about a quarter behind, which echoes the information that Larry Spring gave us about the budget at the last council meeting, when he said that there's $8 million in receivables outstanding with utilities. That's excessive. I think a big problem is brewing with the water bill, and I think it needs to be addressed so that we get it back on track and we don't find ourselves where we were a year and a half ago. So I want to bring that to your attention. I think it's going to be a big problem if it's not addressed. Thank you.
Once more, William Prevotel, 11950 North Bay Shore Drive. I'd like to bring up a positive tonight. I think it's a very positive. Tonight, and this month has been Black History Month. And I gotta say, I'm very proud of our leadership, our president at the national level. I don't think he's necessarily a good black president. I think he's a great president, a great man who has done great work to bring our country out of incredible, at the brink of another great depression, to save our auto industry, to do so many things, to open up channels with Iran, with Cuba, and the list goes on and on and on. And yet, in this month, I hear that half of our Congress hears that there's an opening for the Supreme Court, and their immediate reaction is, no, we're not going to address it. We're not going to do what this president is actually charged. Any president is charged to do. He shall appoint someone. I think it's absolutely appalling. I'm ashamed of that. And I would like our city to make some sort of acknowledgement, some sort of observation of this president at this time. It may not have to be big, it could be very minuscule. It could be as small as calling our fountain at Mocha Plaza the Obama fountain. But some sort of acknowledgement now, not at the end of the term, not after the term, not after some sort of, God forbid, some sort of greater incident, but now to show support for this president who's done so much for this entire country and for the world to get it back on track. And I really request that you do that. And again, it could be as small as a fountain or whatever. I'm not asking for anything that's politically burdensome for any particular community, but some gesture somehow, please do it at your earliest, and let's extend that and let that be known. Thank you.
Mayor and council, I
Name
wanted
and
to-
address, please.
Michael doing his job.
That's good. I just wanted to thank all of you, actually. I appreciate the time we spent talking about my background. You know, I know the mayor asked me a very important question about the very scenario that happened tonight. And as I told you in our meeting, as we move forward, I will do my job. And I make that commitment to each and every one of you. I want to thank Arthur. We've been working very well together, and I expect for that to continue. So we've been developing a great team. He's led the way. We're going to continue to work. And we want to continue that good work and that commitment for you all. So again, I appreciate it. And I guess I have some things to deal with the attorney over the next week or so. So thank you.
All right. Public hearing is now closed. No? Right? Public hearing is closed, so we pretty much go to reports. I mean, I guess I'll go first. Mr. Sori, you know that you've done a very great job ensuring the management of the city during your interim period, and now Mr. Springs, you know, you're gonna take the baton and keep running with it, and you are very qualified. I do not doubt one moment that you will do a splendid job. But the question that I put out there is to your benefit, because sometimes it's best to just go out and explain something that, you know, most people would just gossip about. I don't like gossiping. That's why I put it out there, for you to make your case so people could put it to rest. And I believe in your experience, and I trust that we will work together. We will embrace the vision together so we can take the city, and that has been pretty much crawling for a while. And this is the first step, and now we have one more hurdle to go over in the next week, in the few weeks to come. So welcome to the new position, and I'm looking forward to working with you in a very harmonious way. Thank you.
Oh, I'm next, Mr. Mayor. Okay, you next. Go ahead. You can go.
Mr. First of all, let me thank Vice Mayor Desulme for Black History Month last weekend. It's been a great event, and without the participation of staff. That's what I said?
Yeah.
Without the participation of staff. And I see Derek, he's looking at me. That's been, I have to thank staff and Vice Mayor and Natasha and everybody, Mr. Sore, for putting Black History Month, for making Black History Month in North Miami a big event. And I hope that next year it will be bigger than this year. And I want to thank Mr. Sore for the interim position that you've been occupied for the past few months. You did a great job, but you know, time will come. That's not your time, but I know time will come, and I hope that you continue to act as our deputy city manager. I will always come to you to get our project done for District 3, and I hope I can see you in the city for a very long time. And Mr. Mayor, at the same time, I wanna make a motion and for the city attorney to put on the agenda discussion about the city attorney's position for next council meeting.
It's already on there.
It's
From
already
my
on
last
there
minute, yes.
for the next council?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, from the last
I
meeting.
didn't know. Okay. You're gonna choose. You want the job?
Any
No,
other
we didn't
report?
apply. I have, go ahead.
Oh, you haven't talked yet?
After they did,
I
I'll go.
wasn't going to give a report, but I would like to thank Mr. Story. He has done a great job since he's been our interim. He's helped me considerably. Any projects, any information I've needed, he has followed through on. He's kept me informed and done a good job, and I thank you. And I thank you for standing up to what you thought was right and watching our finances, because you're a great budget person. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Go ahead.
I'll jump in on the same sentiments. Duke, you have honored your father's legacy over the last 6 or 7 months, and you've made your family proud, and thank you for all you've done.
Oh, is that it? Well, it's like we gotta wait, but we're not. This should be, without a doubt, anyone up here, Duke and I have gone back. We started working together. If I had to vote for anybody, it would have been Duke. But I say to him as a friend, and what you have given to this city, I'm not gonna give the same speech because you're not going anywhere, because I just think that my decision, and I explained it to you over and over again, it has nothing to do with it. But let me say this, as we are moving forward, I needed someone to kind of mirror the vision that I have for the city. So, Mr. Spring, I do congratulate you, but you do have a big shoe to fill, and we do need to talk about my vision for the city and your vision to the city and how we're going to get that going. But anyhow, I do want to thank this entire council for allowing me to work and put together such an amazing Black History Committee. But without any doubt, Derek, Khalid, I'll be honoring you guys in the entire committee. No, what? They didn't do anything. You don't know what I put them through. I see all of them, the librarian, everybody here. I will be honoring you guys on the 23rd, but we did it all for the residents. Folks had to make, I saw Laura was dancing, Mike, you were missing. I don't know what happened, Claudia, but everyone, we had such an amazing time. But just to let you guys know, Saturday, March 5th, I'll be hosting my first citizenship drive at the Joe Celestine Center, which the PIO did mention earlier, from 9 a.m. till from 9 a.m. until about 4. So please come out, the residents, to this wonderful, wonderful, wonderful event. Folks who need services. I also want to thank my colleague for passing unanimously the Chinatown division that we have. We are thinking outside the box. Yes, I am someone who's, once I put my mind and idea to something, it's my joy to make it that we don't win it all the time, but this will be something you could rest assured it's gonna happen. Thank you guys.
Ms. Councilwoman, you spoke already? I did. Oh, okay.
My report has, it's not about Duke, but it is about styrofoam. I'm sorry. Styrofoam. It's come to my attention that the state of Florida has just, the House of Representatives has passed actually a House bill that will preempt the cities from regulating styrofoams. So I think we made it by that much.
You haven't passed in the Senate yet.
If it
It
hasn't
has
passed
not,
in the Senate,
it has
it
not
don't mean
passed the
nothing.
Senate.
No, you can't. You haven't. He's not a lawyer.
If it passed the
He's not
House.
gonna pass in the Senate. He's not. He's passed the
I'm saying
House.
just
Not
the
gonna pass the Senate.
Just the House of
He's not.
Okay,
Same as the
next
immigration
report.
bill. He did not pass.
Real quick, briefing. I'm gonna go before you because I know. The first thing is I want to announce to the public that I won't have to report this because I'm not keeping this personally. This art, I want to thank Carlos for giving it to me. It will be at the clerk's office, so Stephanie's going to get it framed up for everyone. This belongs to all of us, the residents of the city of North Miami. So it will be framed up at the clerk's office, and I will be handing it over to Stephanie. So if you don't see it hanged up on the office, you blame her. Not me. The second thing, but this is brief, and this is somewhat important. I like both Duke and Mr. Springs. Mr. Springs came from the city of Miami. We worked, as an elected clerk, I don't really work with the Department of Directors a lot. Stephanie does, and she has a lot of great things to say about Mrs. Springs. And they both look like me. We're part of the short, chubby guy vibe, and I like that. But I have to say that Duke has worked for the city of North Miami since he was 14 years old with Parks and Recs, and that's my story. He lived here all his life. His parents planted seeds in the city of North Miami. He went out, he got educated, he came back, he worked for his city, he gained the experience that he gained, and at the very least, we're gaining something here because he's going to still be our assistant manager, and we're going to also have the expertise of Mr. Springs. But his story is, in fact, my story. I would hate to think that a kid who grew up here all his life, went out, got educated, been working here since the age of 14. I started working in Parks and Recs at 14 as well. And just to say that you're not going to get an opportunity to sit at the top seat because you're embedded in this community, I think that's of shame. But for what it's worth, like everyone else has said, you have done a remarkable job as the interim. And I know it firsthand. I've dealt with several city managers and city attorneys here since being elected. I can be very difficult to deal with if I don't like you. But for what it's worth, I have to say, you have done a remarkable job. You have surpassed all my expectations, and you have. And there's no doubt in my mind that Mr. Springs is gonna, he's the expert here. He has his expertise, and you two will make a phenomenal team. And I want to congratulate you on the job well done. You have many, and a lot of people don't realize the Department of Directors can come and go. It's the assistant directors and the assistant city managers who's embedded in our personnel team. And so
Okay, Mike,
you'll
okay,
be
enough lecturing.
one more thing, okay. And that's so congrats. And Mr. Springs, no, you're still the finance director for now. Please make sure those checks clear next week. But congratulations, Mr. Springs. I have the utmost respect for you. And again, as a kid who lived there all his life, I am 100% confident that you will lead North Miami further to the future. We are, in fact, a city of progress. Congratulations to you.
City on the move.
Yeah, that's right.
Get it right.
That's my report.
It's city on the move.
That's my
That's
report.
it's
My
city
report is
on the
city of
move.
progress. That's my report.
City
That's
on the move.
Somebody already have senior project.
Yes.
You trying to
You don't do that. We are the city on the move.
But this is my
Don't
report.
get it twisted.
No,
Okay.
I define it
Next.
as how I want to define it.
Next report.
I actually have no report. I'd just like to thank everybody for the opportunity. It's been a good run. I look forward to working with Larry. I know I learned a lot from Larry. But I'd like to thank each one of you for the fair way you've treated me. And just thank you. I'll continue to work hard for the city. Thanks a lot.
All right. Motion.
Move to adjourn.
Thank you.
Second.